It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to the Hump Day edition of the Mike Prince Show right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Huge week and a huge week. It truly, truly is. We'll break that down a little bit later on. I want to remind you about our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel, Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our website, which we're under construction on right now, is obnradio.com, and our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. And without any further delay, we're going to jump right into today's episode. Today's episode is made possible by attorney Lee Van Richardson of Hempstead, Texas, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance of Waller, Texas, and Diva Skin Conditioner located at divafeet.com. If you have diabetes or know someone who's dealing with diabetes, you know the personal attack it has on your skin. Visit their website today at divafeet.com, D-I-V-A-H feet.com. You can call and speak with a representative today by dialing 903-270-0026. We got a unique show we're going to have today. We're going to break down the Dooley versus Fobbs. Grambling taking on Prairie View at the State Fair Classic. We're going to jump into both of the coaches' telephone conference, which was on Monday. Then we'll break down where the tail of the tape is going to truly make a difference in this week's contest. We'll switch on over to hear from Coach Dooley and Coach Fobbs, and we'll be right back with more on the Mike Prince Show.
We're going down to face a team that was challenged for us. You're talking about a team that's in the championship game over the last 5 years, and a team that just won it last year. So it was going to be a challenge for us, but more importantly, we knew that the environment was going to be a little different as well. I have to take my hats off to players. They accepted the challenge. We went down there and we fought for 60 minutes. Unfortunately, we came up, started another deal. Was able to get a late drive in the game and sustain it and get the winning touchdown, with leaving us no time on the clock in the adjustments. But hard-fought battle, which we expected, because I know McNair's going to have his guys geared up and ready to play football. Fortunately, we came out under the bad end of the stick, but my players fought hard, and they fought for 60 minutes.
Good morning, Coach. This is Mike Prince. How are you doing today?
How are you?
Right. A tough loss at the reservation, but a surprising approach by the Panthers. More runs than touches, or passes, I should say, and Dwayne Tucker in particular with 22 touches. Was that necessary adjustment, or what led to that decision during that game?
We don't. Our adjustments are we're going to go in and it's going to benefit us to our play. We consider ourselves to be a balanced offense. Of course, there's some things that are happening good for you in the run game. You want to continue to work with that those type plays. But I mean, we have no game plan where we go in and say that we want to throw it more or we want to run it more. We feel that we have a balanced attack. We have enough athletes to get the ball around. So we just go in with an open mind with our game plan.
Okay, Coach, leading into this State Fair Classic, of course, it is a huge game, but two wounded soldiers walking into battle, you and Grambling. The importance of this game and what are going to be some of the key factors that you need to be standing in the victory circle?
I wouldn't say wounded soldiers. I would say that there's two teams that are hungry for a victory right now because they haven't tasted it in a while, but it's going to be a hard-fought game once again. The records indicate one thing, but for us, the two teams, with two good football teams to play. But for us to be on the victory side of it, we got to down on the penalties, I believe, and continue to execute on both sides of the ball and be able to sustain drive as well as get off the field when it's defense.
Coach, you just brought up the penalties, and it's been a common theme thus far, 18, 11, 13, and then 12 this past week. And we talked about, or use it that leads to discipline or lack of self-control. You said that you didn't think that would be a problem. What would you attribute to the penalties being at such a rampant pace at this time?
With us being a fast-paced team on both sides, a lot of things can go this way or that way when you look at the penalties, but the penalties really wasn't deciding. When you're talking about we had 12 and they had 10, so physical football game and things took place. But for us, the discipline side, to remain disciplined. I'd say discipline, and I'm using it in a different way because of the things we need to do to be successful. But for us, the team being disciplined and ready to play, it's not an issue. We just got to cut down that. Those are made to us mistakes, so get that part correct.
Okay, Coach, and also scoring 41 points, in most cases, you end up winning more than you would lose on that. What do you see that you would have to do on the defensive side of things to help bring about an edge in some of these shootouts?
We're going to have to be able to get off the field on third down. You know, we can't create any situations where they can continue drives, and we just got to continue to up on the tackling and make sure that we do run game. There's no question about that. Those are some of the things that we know it's not a definite. We just got to do it. So those things we look forward for this game for us to be successful, to continue to have a better third down situation defensively wise and create some turnovers.
What is the status of Juice Parker and Stubblefield and other personnel as you get ready for this game, this big game?
Right now, we know that Juice is going to be held for a while. Hopefully, we'll get some information on Stubblefield this week here. The concerns will be available to play, but I'll get that issue. I'll get back. Unfortunately, right now, I'm out of town at the State Fair Classic for a press conference.
Okay, thank you, Coach, and good luck to you, sir.
Coach Dooley, how you doing? This is Charles Edmond from WPRL.
Doing well. How are you, Charles?
Doing pretty good. I know last week you prepared for Noah Johnson, or the quarterback for Felix Harper. Obviously, got the start play the whole way. Talk about what you saw in him and the 280 yards. Had him a couple of times defensively, and he got away and able to make some plays. Talk about what you saw from the lefty Felix Harper Saturday.
Tell you what, they got another good quarterback that's on the rise, and always a luxury to have when you know you have a Noah Johnson that can play in some big games and won some big games for you. But to have a guy that's magnitude behind Noah Johnson that helps out the Braves, I'm pretty sure like they're squeezing that. I thought the kid was paused. I thought the kid just stepped in and did what they expected him to do.
Coach, from your standpoint, scored over 40 points with 4 turnovers. The difference was that in the ball game. The first play of the game was an interception. It was thrown in the end zone. You had over 500 yards of offense, 508 turnovers, and you had 40 points. How tough is that to deal with, knowing that on the stats you did everything but the game?
That's extremely tough. You know, I keep going over and over it and looking at it. You know, normally when you that many turnovers, it's pretty much a blowout. So now I down now. We just got to, no doubt in my mind, we got to execute better. We execute better. We should be looking forward to a different outcome.
What do you see in Grambling, Coach, a team that lost 23-20 to Alabama State? Obviously, a different Grambling team with Hick Boston at quarterback. They had opportunities there. Alabama State. What do you see in this Grambling team 2019?
Well, you know, the one thing I do know about it, you know, they was once champions, and I know the pedigree of the coaching staff that's there and some of the players that's there. You know, unfortunately, they haven't had a successful season thus far, but I know that they game that they feel they must have. So kind of like both of us, our back is against the wall. We got to come out fighting. So look for a hard-fought contest. A contest going to be to extremely high level. So the record doesn't indicate how well the football team is doing. So for a hard-fought battle as well as for us as well, we have to into that. Both of us searching to get into that W column.
Hey, Coach Dooley, Luke Williams from the Black College. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you doing, Luke?
Okay. Those 12 penalties they called on you, which ones were the most frustrating to you? I mean, is it like most coaches, the ball foul?
No, I'll have to say, you know, in that closing drive where we had a interference, that there could huge difference. Wow. We had 2 penalties called on that last drive. That was much right there.
And Coach Luke Williams again, how do you assess Jalen? Is it more of plays on defense or bad reads on his part?
You know, I must say, when we take a look and kind of look at the process, there's some things that we didn't, some bad reads and that wasn't ran the correct way. So we know that things we have to sharpen up execution-wise for us. The position coaches know we have to take a look at those that we did, the way that they was performed. So right now, of our chances, got to continue to fight and just keep chopping at it.
Dooley, as always, we appreciate your time and look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Reach more potential customers through our sports radio package by dialing 832-213-8824.
We now go to Grambling State. The Tigers dropped a 23-20 decision at Alabama State this past week. We'll be joined by head coach Broderick Fobbs. Do we have Coach Fobbs on the line?
I'm here.
Good morning, Coach. Coach, if you would please give us a recap of your last outing, Alabama State.
I'll tell you, it's a really good atmosphere for football, there in Montgomery. Coach Hill did an awesome job having his team ready to play. Really hard-fought football game. Made a lot of mistakes early. Were able to kind of way out of one of them, but, it was just too many to overcome. I thought that they did a really good job of running the football and then also throwing the football more so. And completed, a lot of those plays. So it's a tough ball game. Missed a couple field goals, but that's part of it. You got to make those, but nothing away from them. They did a really good job.
Fobbs, if you could please preview your upcoming matchup with Prairie View at the State Fair Classic.
I'll tell you, playing against a really talented ball club, very, very exceptional skill guys, receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, defensive backs, and defensive ends that can rush the passer. Coach Dooley does an exceptional job of recruiting and having his guys ready to play, and he's scored a lot of points, and they've been in every game and they had an opportunity to win it, and just so happen to play here, play there at the end of the game, that they haven't won the last two, but it's going to be a great atmosphere, great place to play, here in Dallas, Texas, and in the Cotton Bowl, and a great venue, experience for our kids, and great opportunity, to play college football.
Good morning, Coach Fobbs. This is Mike Prince with the Open Mic Broadcast Network. How are you today, sir?
Mike, how you doing?
Doing real good. Look, this has always been a critical game as far as the West unfolding. And what are some of the positive things that you're bringing in with your squad that you feel comfortable in facing the Panthers this week in Dallas?
Well, I think we're in a little bit different situation. We got a lot of young kids playing for us at certain spots, and a lot of times a little immaturity steps in, and that's something that we're working on and working through. But they have to understand that it's their opportunity to make those plays. They for so long they've been sitting and watching other guys make plays, and it's up to them to make those plays. So we just have to understand that there is no other guys. You got to make the play, and it's a huge ball game, huge football contest. Just like all of them are huge football contests, especially when you get to this time of the year, mid-season. It's conference season, and you're playing against great football teams and great coaches and disciplined programs, and that's what it's all about.
Now, Coach, last year I asked you, and I think you were in agreement that last year was probably one of your better coaching jobs with the situation that you had to deal with and work with. Would you compare that as with this year's assignment?
I would say, we still have a lot of those young kids playing, and they're playing a lot better. But we also got hit. It's part of it. It's part of the game. Next man up type situation. So there's no excuse about it. You got to play the game, and that's just the way it goes. But I'm very, very pleased with our execution from the 20 to the 20. But I'm not pleased with our execution inside the 20, and that's where we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot, whether it's through penalties or making the wrong reads or ill-advised throws or what have you. And that's what we have to do a better job of, as well as tackling.
Yeah, and my final thought, or I should say comment, when you look at the tail of the tape on paper, you and Prairie View kind of mirror each other, young teams, but then it comes to the penalties and turnovers. And would it be safe to assume whoever can control and minimize that more than likely has a chance of being the winner?
Of course, that's in any ball game. You turn the football over, you don't win. That's just the way it goes. I've never seen a team, very seldom, do you lose so many turnovers and then win the football game. So, of course, that's a major factor. Of course, you got to score points and you got to stop people. But you also have to protect the football. That's what it's about. This week was out of character for us, 10 penalties. If you look at us in the previous, couple of weeks, one penalty, the Louisiana Tech week and 3 to 5 penalties, I think it was, the first week. So it was out of character for us, but, you never know what you're going to get. You just have to go back to the drawing board and work on it after it and get things corrected.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Fobbs, we know you're getting ready there for another press conference, so we do appreciate you taking some time to join us, and we look forward to speaking with you again next week.
The voice of student athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Now, we've heard from both sides of the tape, and we're working on getting Centaurio Black, who happens to be the voice of the Grambling State Tigers. We'll have him on later on this week. But back to the two coaches. A couple of weeks ago, maybe even a little bit longer than that, 3-4 weeks ago, Grambling Nation got heated with me because I asked the question, could there be some uneasiness at the Grambling camp? And man, the inboxes, texts, Twitters, all that stuff, man, they came bombarding me. And now it seems that there is some truth to where there's smoke, there's fire. Now, all is not pleasantries at PV's camp either, which brings even more intensity to this week's battle. In the press conference, I kind of referred to that 2 wounded soldiers going into battle. Coach Dooley said, I wouldn't say we're wounded soldiers, just hungry for victory. And that's fair enough. But then he goes on and says later that their backs are to the wall. Kind of sounds like the same scenario to me. However, in order for the Panthers to have success, they've got to get out of their own way. It is definitely going to be the Uneasy Bowl this weekend at the State Fair Classic. Grambling coming in 0-3. More importantly, they're 0-1 in conference play with a 3-game losing streak. The Panthers come in at 1-3. And more importantly for them, they are 1-1 in conference play. But they too bring in a 3-game losing streak. So starting with the losing streak alone, someone is going to break their 3-game skid. It's going to either be the Tigers or the Panthers. Someone will almost mathematically put themselves behind the 8 ball with their second conference loss. If the Panthers win this game, they'll definitely be on par for our July projections. We had them coming into this contest with a 1-3 record. With this critical game to deal with the Tigers to catapult themselves to 2-1 within the conference play. More importantly, 2-0 in divisional play, which would put them in a very comfortable driver's seat. Not the entire full control, but a much better vantage point heading down what is going to be another difficult task. You have Southern next on the schedule, but let's get past the Tigers first. So the stage will be set And the Panthers, really, as I stated earlier, will have to stay out of their own way. Penalties and turnovers have been the theme for the Panthers. And when you consider time of possession, which was a much better improvement this past week against Alcorn, it has a wear and tear on the defensive side of the ball. There is no doubt that the Panthers bring an exciting brand of football when it comes to scoring. But it does you no good to score 35, 41 points when you're giving up 36 and 42 points. So the best way that you maximize your strength and minimize your challenges is taking your destiny into your own hands. You must address turnovers. We know that turnovers are part of the game. The Panthers have 10 turnovers in 4 games, averaging over 2 turnovers a game. Of course, they seem to be more when you have 3, 4 turnovers in one game. But they're averaging 2, which is probably 2 too many if you ask any coach. However, it is what it is. Now, there is a stat that we track here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network that's going to sound weird to some, but it makes sense to me. And so I guess that's why we track it. Penalties. Anytime that there's over 100 yards per game in penalties, I compute that to a touchdown because of 100 yards, of course, on a football field constitutes you getting 6 points. Right now, as we head toward the Grambling State game, the Panthers have 54 penalties on the season for a total of 475 yards. I want you to really, really think about that. 54 penalties in 4 games. It's about 12 and a half, 13 penalties a game, which averages out to 118 yards per game, which goes back to the touchdowns. So if you really count up the Panthers' games that they've lost, they lost 37-17 to University of Houston. That's a 10-point spread. They lost 42-35 to Nicholls State, 7-point spread. They lost 45-41 to Alcorn, a 4-point spread. An average of 21 points. Well, not even an average. When you add them up, that's 21 points that the Panthers have lost by, which is not a bad deal. But when you add in the penalties, according to our little goofy stat, the Panthers gave an additional 7 points in each loss. Even in the win over Texas Southern, there were 18 penalties for 123 yards or 132 yards. Then University of Houston, it was a total of 13 penalties for 98 yards. 11 penalties against Nicholls and another 12 penalties against Alcorn, which is around that average of 13 and a half penalties a game. The talent for the Panthers are obviously there. The self-control, disciplined penalties are what's standing in the Panthers' way. Time of possession, which was addressed this past weekend, has been in the way of the Panthers. However the case may be, something's going to have to give come Saturday at 4 p.m. Will the Panthers have enough in the tank to get over the Tigers for the second year? Will the Tigers finally get into the winner's circle? Game is definitely going to be intense. Dooley and Fobbs have been the dynamic duo, won championships together. They have now gone their separate ways. No doubt, both men know each other inside and out. Will Dooley have enough up his sleeve to pull another rabbit out the hat? Or will it be the case of the master dethroning the teacher in the case of Fobbs over Dooley? We've got scheduled Centoria Black, the voice of the Tigers, later on this week. But reminding you to stay in tune here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network for all of our programming. The Carlos Brown Show on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The Sports Report Live, 9 p.m. Sunday evenings. And, of course, the Mike Prince Show here daily at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I've got the exit stage left for now. But until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.